Everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Shah. This is for the first time I'm on YouTube Live. It gives me immense pleasure rather being here and sharing a few observations with you regarding insensitivity towards others' faith. Friends, let me tell you background. I think there was a verbal spat between me and a Facebook and a social media friend, probably on Instagram, against you know spreading sectarian insensitivity and hatred. Believe me, people often express that too openly and rather spread hate on social media, that too on such a vitrioling public platform without any sense of responsibility, and often these are kids or teens or adolescents. They don't know what they are doing. Spreading hate, I should say, at times unconsciously, they are not aware of the consequences. They are not aware of what they are doing, because hate as an element of socialization is taught, is imparted, is inducted within family. This is a serious parental concern now, that are we teaching hate to our kids? This must be a serious concern. How are we imparting values? And how and what kind of sensitivity, what kind of respect towards other religions, faiths, doctrines, traditions are we teaching to our kids? Are we really upbringing responsible and hate free kids? This is a typical question. This is an alarming question today. Or we keep boasting about our own faith only and keep branding other faiths as wrong, false, blah, blah, blah. This is happening when these teens or children or kids, write comments on social media and they see, any other sect, any other denomination, any other religious group, and they irresponsibly start commenting, thinking that theirs is the only right one, true one, original one, fundamental one, and the rest, everything else is false. This is creating many problems, rather a series of problems. I should say this is breeding hatred. This is, shaping hatred within communities. This is shaping intense and hateful sectarianism. Such kind of vitriolic, such kind of provocative comments often hurt sentiments of others. And when we keep boasting about our own sect or group and castigate or, try to defame, try to malign other faiths, it comes with, serious consequences. Friends, therefore, we have to realize as parents, are we upbringing the future sociopaths or responsible citizens? Are we upbringing kids for tomorrow's hate? Are we upbringing kids for future hate? Or we are trying to upbring a responsible generation for tomorrow? Therefore, be aware of parenting and be serious about parenting and teach your kids the basic ethos, the basic values of each and every faith, not necessarily telling them that they have to adhere to these values. They should adhere or they might adhere to their own, faith or their own doctrine, but at least not telling them to malign other faiths, at least not telling them that everything else is false and theirs is only true, at least not, injecting a sort of poison in their minds that you can openly castigate other faiths, other denominations, other traditions, because nowadays this is a postmodern era, and we are not living within religions now. Believe me, we are living within a global religious tradition. There are no religions now, there are religious traditions. This is precisely what I mean to say. Therefore, within these religious traditions come a plethora of, faiths, sects, questions on truth. As I said, denominations, groups, communities, and these are all human beings. Therefore, we we have to understand. We have to understand a few basic principles. That is tolerance for all, respect for all faiths, respect for all doctrines, mutual harmony towards others, and having a belief that this is my faith, others do have their faiths. This is not a question of truth and falsehood. This is a question of rightful existence of others as well, apart from your own existence. Therefore, rearing or upbringing responsible kids by telling them about other faiths is the responsibility of every parent today. This is what you realize. Otherwise, if you are not doing this, friends, you are upbringing future sociopaths who will be, maligning each and every sensitive matter in the society, who will be questioning everyone and everyone's faith and doctrine and other things, and who will be treating their own, as we say, ethnocentric tendency to judge other cultures by the standards of our own. That is a serious problem. See, knowledge without character is dangerous. We have to realize that. And often we see things as we are, not as they are. Therefore, there is a difference between the perception and a perspective. Always don't don't, inject your kids with just your own biased, unverified perceptions. Adhering them to your faith is okay. That's fundamental. That's precisely your freedom. But try to give them a perspective of the world, especially perspective of the world religions that comes with tomorrow's sensitive matters. This is what everyone should do. Secondly, believe me, by you know upbringing irresponsible kids who are quite oblivious of others' faiths and other sensitivities in the community, you are in a way, developing antisocial behavior, and you are, because of the parental factors solely, you are developing tomorrow's antisocial behavior. And as what perception is always what you understand about someone or about something or about some doctrine. That may be your perception, but perspective keeps changing. Perspective is based on attitude. And with the change of the perception, with the change of the, sorry, perspective, even perceptions can change. Therefore, always give a larger perspective, major perspective, universal perspective to your kids while you are upbringing them. And as a famous sociologist Margaret Mead says, that children must be taught how to think, not what to think. Therefore, friends, this how to think is the question that we should ponder over. If you are able to, if you are successful in the process of upbringing your kids with how to think, how to think, like how to think secularly, how to think without hatred, how to think without, disharmony, how to think responsibly. This is what makes tomorrow's responsible citizen, uh, I must say, a tolerant citizen. Otherwise, as I said, we are upbringing an army of irresponsible citizens who are quite oblivious and insensitive of others' faiths, sects, denominations, and religious traditions, who keep writing anything as keyboard warriors on social media, and they openly spread hate, they openly spread disharmony, they openly challenge others' religious doctrines without having an iota of understanding of that religious tradition. The fatwa factory, as we say now, little kids have started issuing fatwas against others. Who are Sunnis and who are Shias? Who is right and who is wrong? And what is, Ashura mourning, and what is this and what, questioning sensitive matters that are attached to people's hearts, people's faith, that form the core of people's belief. Even attacking those things is seriously reflecting the kind of parenting these kids are getting. And ignorance has never helped anybody, said Karl Marx. This is uh, simply ignorance in offing. This is simply sheer ignorance in offing when such a kind of generation gets developed and they start asking questions on social media. This is pathetic at times to see such inhuman and uncivilized stock on social media who keep posting irresponsibly, even question the basic aspects of Ashura, Muharram processions, and the people who mourn and people who have their strong faith. This is not a question of Shia, Sunni, or other doctrines, because uh, believing in your doctrine while tolerating other doctrines is what we should be, is what makes us different from the ignorant stock. But these days, we have to seriously ponder over the fact that if we are socializing kids, how are we socializing? Therefore, society lives by faith and develops by science. We cannot question faith. People have faith, and people have, their own sects. People have their own ethnicities. People have their own identities, and we cannot, question their value set. We cannot question their value orientation. We cannot, question their very foundation of faith, because it will be simply inhuman, and it will be simply criminal in its, basis. Therefore, people's, behavior, or their, own judgment of what's important for them makes particular value set, makes their values and their values in life. And beliefs refer to the conviction or acceptance of those values, or something that they feel existing is true, or especially without proof. We have our own beliefs. And how would you like that if tomorrow someone comes and challenges your belief? No, your belief is wrong and my belief is right. This is simply intolerance. This is simply, you know, criminal in its very basis. Therefore, are we going to upbring our kids who can breed this hate tomorrow on public platforms openly? We have to think. And beliefs at times affect your morals and values. Your whole, morality is shaped by beliefs. And if your belief is attacked, if your, sectarian basis is attacked, if your fundamental doctrine is attacked, people feel hurt. People feel their sentiments are being hurt. Therefore, this is my, humble request to, especially to the Kashmiri stock, my community. Kindly try to socialize. your kids responsibly. Because consciously or unconsciously, we are doing a serious harm to the what we say communitas or community ethos. Displaying irresponsible and intolerant behavior on social media platforms breeds nothing but hate. And are we breeding this hate stock? Are we, upbringing this hate stock? Are we developing this hate stock in our own family? We have to think about it. Who is a Shia and who is a Sunni? Why is Shia a Shia? Why is Sunni a Sunni? These are not the questions that students must be asking on public platforms. And if a Shia does this, is it right? And if a Sunni does this, is it wrong? What is right and what is wrong in a particular religion is totally, your own private matter. What you want to follow in your home and what you don't want to follow, that is precisely your freedom. If you are a Sunni, you are following that Sunni doctrine, and if you are a Shia, you are following that Shia doctrine. It's okay. There is nobody who should be telling you why are you like this and why are you like that and spreading hate openly on public platforms without an iota of sense of responsibility and sense of belonging to the same community is sheer lack of proper socialization. Kindly think about it. And let us let us take oath on one thing that me and my kids are not and in no way going to spread any sectarian hatred. You must not be a part of this venomous project. We have our own sects, it is fine, but all sects are there and every sect has a right to exist, follow its doctrine, and follow its faith. We must be clear on these. Not trying to be the radical and issuing fatwas against everyone when even you are not a qualified scholar, when even you are not reading and writing anything on, Shia doctrine and Sunni doctrine and other denominations. You have congregationists, and you have Baptists. You have so many sects around the world. You have denominations of every faith. But it is not that you will, come out of the blue and start questioning everything, start questioning everyone's faith, and even write that on social media. The question again reduced to the same thing with which I began. Are we upbringing sociopaths of tomorrow? Religion demands sensitivity. That sensitivity has to be developed through socialization in homes. That socialization, positive socialization, harmony, that harmonious socialization is the job of the parents and schools. This is what kids should be doing. This is what teachers should be doing. This is what parents should be doing. And never encourage your kid attacking any faith, attacking any sect in home or at home, or attacking any sect at school. Teachers must teach tolerance in schools. Parents must teach tolerance and living with harmony in the society, in homes. This must be our way of socializing our kids. Otherwise, we will be upbringing sociopaths of tomorrow. We will be upbringing hate breeders of tomorrow. And we will be upbringing social deviants of tomorrow and antisocial elements of tomorrow. Respect every faith, respect every sect, and follow the belief and core doctrine of your own sect. This is what we should be doing. Thank you very much.